Chris Rock is reported to have hired a major law firm to perhaps sue not only Will Smith, but also the Oscars. Now, everyone knows about the slap heard around the world. Will Smith was completely 100% out of line, and there's a penalty for actions like that. So let's talk about this potential penalty. According to a report, Chris Rock, the comedian, he slapped at the Oscars to please his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, has reportedly hired a top New York City law firm, probably to sue him for that hefty and embarrassing slap. Now, I've heard this routinely, that Chris Rock can sue. Well, it's not that simple. You have to sue for things. For example, you have to sue for, let's say, damages. Well, damages in a court must be proven. You must prove that you lost money because of the action of the other individual. Well, in this case, Chris Rock has actually gained money based on the current reports that Chris Rock now has a higher ticket sale average after the slap than before, okay? All right. MTO News claims that Chris Rock is now a new client of a law firm that has handled some of the biggest lawsuits in the history of this country, including matters involving Google, the NFL, and Microsoft. There's more. This move could signal that Chris is exploring a potential lawsuit against Will Smith, the Academy Awards, or both. Now, how can the Academy Awards be involved in the lawsuit when they are not the ones who engaged in the physical combat? Well, here's how, a few ways. Number one, it's called negligent security. Negligent security is a legal claim. Number two, you have premises liability, all right? I do find it quite ironic that the Academy Awards, they had no protocol in place, no security protocol for somebody rushing the stage. That is typically a basic security measure when you have an insurance policy connected to a major event. I've done major events, I've done concerts, I've hosted big galas. There's always a security plan that must be submitted for the insurance company to ensure that event. It always includes the potential of somebody going on the stage and harassing a participant of the event. So there may be something there, is my point. There's more. The law firm insider told MTO News, Chris was in the office meeting with partners from the litigation team. While the insider couldn't say for certain what Chris discussed with the lawyers, the insider thinks it was a big deal. The tipster added, whatever they were saying, it was big given the number of lawyers at the meeting. Let's go to a Beverly Hills attorney. Adam Michael Sachs said both Smith and the award show were at risk of being embroiled in legal action. Rock could sue Will for public humiliation and embarrassment. He could say the assault hurt his confidence and career. Chris could even sue the Academy as a performer on stage. He could argue he should have been protected, which I agree. I think that's a justifiable argument that has successfully been made by many individuals in a similar circumstance. Even people in the audience of a major event, they have successfully made that legal claim. There's more. Jim Carrey, remember when everything first happened, Jim Carrey came out quickly and said, and I quote, I have announced this morning that I was suing Will for 200 million because that video is going to be there forever. Okay, and he's right, it will be there forever. And this may be the reason, possibly, perhaps, why Chris Rock has decided not to engage in a lot of comedic routine or talk about it transparently. He simply mentioned it during one of his routines, but then did not go into detail. If he has lawyered up, there's your reason why. All right, so let me pose the question to everybody who will see this and to my dear brother. Do you think it is a good move for Chris Rock to sue either A, Will Smith, B, the Academy, or perhaps A and B?
I mean, honestly, there's no reason for him to not go after A and B if he can in whatever, strategic way that he sees a path forward. But at the end of the day, I think what's important to gain from this for the most part is that whether Chris puts together a successful lawsuit or not, the repercussions of what Will did are going to be forevermore, especially within Will's life. And all of this really came about not just because of, the personal issues he has in his life, but, he and his family decided to publicly put their business online in such fashion that it was a business model, and it came back around. I mean, that's, where there's smoke, there's fire. Everybody's talking about it because that's what's led to this. And so at the end of the day, him walking up on stage and slapping him was the $1.5 million option that he had. And so his career is going to face consequences. His image will. And if Chris Rock puts together a successful lawsuit against him, then he's going to have to suffer for that as well. So, it's just a bad decision on his part.
Yeah, but $200 million, damn, that's an expensive slap.
That's a lot, and he wouldn't get that much, but I mean, he'd get some of it. You know what I'm saying? He might get 75 million.
Yeah, I see why Jada Smith said that she was disappointed in Will. Okay,
right.